A. Will Qatar go the South Africa way? Hello everyone, good evening. As we continue with the third part of Soccer Story series, having gone through the historical aspects of the game, a rundown on the 21 editions of the World Cup held so far, and then again through the life and times of key players like Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar, Benzema and others. It is time to welcome you all back to our channel, Striking Seconds. It has been a smooth cruise for all of us behind the new venture. But let me remind you all that this fledgling channel can sustain only with your wholehearted support. So please like, share and subscribe to our channel as we are starting today. So please like, share and subscribe to our channel as we starting today would be looking at the 32 teams in 8 groups in some detail, a sort of analysis of how things could turn up in the preliminary phase of the coming World Cup. Essentially, the second World Cup in Asian soil exists in a realm of pure potential. None of the key players, barring a minuscule few, are injured and nobody is out of form. But things could go wrong between today and November 20, which is what makes it difficult to preview the teams in the fray so early. Having said that, we believe that Qatar 2022 otherwise looks fairly decent, what there being the reassurance of being a bunch of teams which we are all familiar with. Canada will be back after missing out in both 2014 and 2018. But there will be a handful of teams which we miss out. Italy, a 3-time winner, will not be there as was its case in 2018 as well. And then the major absentees also include Sweden, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Chile and Colombia, all failing by the wayside through the excruciating qualifiers which got extended to almost 3 years to the dot due to the pandemic. The final draw, which took place in April last in Doha, only suggests that this World Cup could be a class apart than what we have all witnessed through the 92-year history of the tournament. Fortunately, unlike in the past, we do not have any group of death, though there are certain ones which remains too close to call. Naturally, as in life, sport too often does present a variety of surprises, which in one way is also something that makes all the action so rich and exciting. Now, let us consider Group A, which comprises the host Qatar, the Netherlands, Senegal and Ecuador. As is well known now, the tournament was actually slated to start on November 21st, but in order to accommodate the practice which came to be established in 2006 of having the host play the opening match, the event has so much preponed by a day. It is indeed tough task to make a prediction on Qatar, which despite all the billions of dollars that the country has spent since it's gained the rights to hold this World Cup in 2010, has little pedigree and achievements to pit itself as one of the favourites to top the group. In fact, it could well go the way of South Africa, which to date remains the only host country not to make the grade into the second round. Yet, one can write off a team only on one's own peril, as history has time and again taught us, made us wiser to look beyond the ponderable Qatar's ticket to the World Cup came courtesy of it being the host of the tournament. It will be the first World Cup for this Middle East country, the lone debutant this time around. Despite its overall record over the years, Qatar has outshone other Asian nations in the recent past, taking the 2019 Asian Cup back to its shores. Managed by Spaniard Felix Sanchez, who has been in the country since 2006, holding different roles before taking over as head coach in 2017. It was he who helped Qatar gain an international title for the first time, and it is upon Sanchez the football-loving people of Qatar would believe to come up with a miracle of 2. The team may lack the cohesion when compared to the big cousins from Europe or South America, but still seems to have depth in almost department. The key players could well be goalkeeper Saad Al Sheikh, the first choice left back in Abdel Karim Hussein, playmaker Hassan Al Haidos, who is also equipped to drop into the central midfield, Akram Afif, who plays up front, and Almos Ali, the side's dependable striker. The tone and tenor of Qatar's attempt to get into the pre-quarter finals could well be established on the opening day of the tournament itself. The hosts take on Ecuador in the opening fixture and a lot depends on how Qatar fares on this crucial day. Ecuador, the last team to qualify from the South American group, but truth to tell, it is one of the least intimidating sides from that continent where the game is for sure worshipped than in any part of planet Earth. It will be the 4th World Cup campaign for the side, but perhaps what forces to dismiss its chances outright is the gaping 6 defeats that the country was faced within the 18-match sequence of the qualifiers. The team currently is handled by Gustavo Alfaro, who since his appointment in 2017, by which time it was evident that Ecuador will not be taking the trip to Russia in 2018. The Argentinian, through the last 5 years, has molded a team working with an exciting generation of young players who could well be Alfaro's trump card in Qatar. Accordingly, it is expected that the nucleus of the side will be made up of defender Piero Handicappi, his colleague again in the back Pervis Estupinan, midfielder Moises Caicedo and forwards Gonzalo Plata and Enner Valencia. Should Ecuador be able to put it past Qatar on the opening day, it would be the first ever defeat of a host nation in the World Cup. Now, in our reckoning, the team to watch in Group A is certainly the current African champion Senegal. Remember how Senegal captured the imagination of the entire universe as it knocked out reigning champion France in 2002. And though it could not keep up its promise thereafter at the expected level, this could the chance for the Lions of Teranga to redeem its prestige. Anyway, Senegal would be more careful than in Russia 2018, where it became the first nation to eliminate it from the World Cup group stage due to its fair play record. This time around, Senegal would be taking its opponents with the confidence being the continental champions of the once dark continent. The team, trained by Aliou Cissé, has quite a few players of repute in its rank, particularly custodian Edouard Mendy, defender Kalidou Koulibaly, midfielders Idrissa Gueye and Nampalys Mendy, and the fearsome striker in Sadio Mane, two-time winner of the African Player of the Year title back-to-back. This is the golden generation of the Senegalese football, and should the side limit itself from being over physical, could well move forward to the knockout stages without much ado. Finally, let us cast our looks at the Netherlands, thrice runners-up in the competition and back into the World Cup fold after being absent in Russia 2018. How is it that the Dutch, having produced spectacular players over the years, have never won the World Cup, one may ask? In 1974, at the heyday of total football, with Rinus Michels as its conductor and Johan Cruyff the concert master, the Dutch almost had their name etched on the coveted trophy, only to return defeated by Germany in the final. 4 years later, with an invariably same side, of course minus Cruyff, the Dutch again were to finish second best. And as Ronald Koeman, Frank Rijkaard, Ruud Gullit, Marco van Basten came along as continental conquerors in 1990 to West Germany again in an epic pre-quarter final outing. Dennis Bergkamp and his team did raise much expectations in 1998 before falling by the wayside, losing to Brazil on penalties. Finally came the era of Wesley Sneijder, Arjen Robben and Robin van Persie, who again fell short at the door of a memorable triumph in 2010 before the pocketing the bronze 4 years later. Current coach Louis van Gaal, who was at the helm in 2014, also could well be perplexed on why his country fell short at the final hurdle repeatedly. Dutch football, after its failure to qualify in 2018, has been in a rather turbulent phase through the last few years before showing signs of improvement. The Dutch for sure has this opportunity to set their record straight finally in Qatar. The team is filled with talent, and if all goes well for it, we could well be talking a lot about its central defender Virgil van Dijk, right wing back Denzel Dumfries, midfielder Frenkie de Jong and Ryan Gravenberch, and striker Memphis Depay, the real fulcrums of the side. In our calculations, The Dutch could be the other side to progress from the group alongside Senegal, barring major surprises. Before concluding, let me once again remind viewers to like, share and subscribe our channel, which to say the least would be a major boost to our efforts to bring the whole picture of Qatar 2022. Your comments are also welcoming, giving us a soothing experience to realize that our hard work over the last several weeks are finally bearing fruit. We shall be soon back with the analysis of Group B. Hasta la vista.